issues tied up with it. And we've seen it with contact centres in a really big way. And the whole aspect of both of those, which links to ignoring the customers in the process. So I suggest those could be common pitfalls and a way of looking at things. I do want to point out, though, that I believe anti-fragility is the most important thing in my career. I also believe that it's got an enormous amount of work to be done on it. I believe it needs to move to being a coherent, holistic theory of the firm. I believe it's a unifying framework for improvement, including all the obvious things. I believe it's a more appropriate optimization criteria than efficiency and effectiveness. But there's a lot of stuff we haven't done yet. So here's some suggestions and just some of the many research topics which are out there. Okay? How does it change finance? How does it change strategy? How does it change HR? Because it does, I suggest. Because when we look at HR, we don't think of the fragility issues in the business. We just think of efficient organisation most of the time. How should anti-fragility help to change the unifying model between these disciplines like the excellence model? I'm working on that one. Right? I think the excellence model has to change. Not actually in its fundamental structure, but in the guidance, the interpretation. That's what's really important. I think ISO should change, but it is, but in the wrong direction, partly. I think the mathematical and statistical formulation of anti-fragility is not good enough. I think Taleb's silly little papers on unidimensional anti-fragility doesn't do anything. What's beyond anti-fragility? If anti-fragility is a rate and it's a second order effect, what's beyond that? See, surviving and growing in strength, is that the purpose of firms and organisations? Does that really encapsulate it? Is it an end in itself like that? It's better than efficiency. All right? A real interesting question, isn't it? Really, really interesting. I believe we need case studies of anti-fragility. So the business schools, we really need these. And I believe we need some industry studies. You know, I'm really interested in, let's take an area like, well, let's take airlines, for instance, you see, or health services, right? What anti-fragile structure should we have? Okay? How do we compare things across the industry? What works, what doesn't work? So there we go. My final request, a bit late, sorry about that. I think anti-fragility is a paradigm shift, enormous paradigm shift in our way of thinking about organisations. It's going to take time and spread and get established. And you guys, please help. What are you going to do? You're going to tell. Right? And that's where I'm about finished because of time. So thank you. I'm assuming Jerry will carry on talking after lunch, yeah? Shall we break immediately for lunch, I'm going to suggest.